We observe the high quality education delivered in such a simple, child-friendly setting.
And I just felt this is just incredibly positive, just very positive. Like everybody was happy to see the teachers.
Even though it is a very small school, I feel like that's a good thing. I'm really confident just being myself. And I feel like now it's a bit more balanced, like not extremely easy, but also not too hard. The activities that we do in all the classes, we learn things from them, and they're also really fun. It keeps us engaged while also letting us learn new things.
I believe that learning by doing and by playing is the best way for the individual to learn and to absorb all those knowledge or skill or whatever that they supposed to learn in themselves and put it to application. Somehow, I don't know how, it's the magic that I have to go thanks teacher, that how did you make them love to learn it? For us, it's not just his school, it's our family school. We came across with a farm on Samakee Road, and we just decided to stop by and immediately surprised by the farm owned by the school. And then we were surprised by, this is a school and what a cozy atmosphere they have. It looks like a house, look like home, but it feels like home but bigger. So curious, the next day we came back during the weekday, came back and just stopped by and spoke to Miss Monica and Miss Tabitha. We appreciate their vision, and we also happened to had a chance to join the class on that day. I think summer school or something, we had a chance. We observed the high quality education delivered in such a simple, child-friendly setting, So we signed him up right away on spot without thinking about international school. He's happily attending here since then, and it's been 6 years.
I think for me, it was the atmosphere. So speaking with the administration, that was enlightening, and I agree. The philosophy of the school is very clear. It's very well aligned among everybody, and it's wonderful. But I remember sitting in the cafeteria and just watching as teachers walked in, the reactions of the kids, and I just felt this is just incredibly positive. Just very positive. Like everybody was happy to see the teachers, and I didn't have a bad childhood by any means, but I don't remember ever feeling that way about my teachers, when I was that age. And so I thought this is something special. Everybody knew everybody else's name. Everybody seemed genuinely happy to see everyone else, right? It was just very positive, just felt right.
Even though it is a very small school, I feel like that's a good thing in my opinion, because there's less things to worry about, more fun, and that makes it not that complicated. Very simple, nice. I just really like it. It's easier to make fun. I'm really confident just being myself. And I feel like now it's a bit more balanced, not extremely easy, but also not too hard. Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, because my dad knows a lot of English and he's fun. I just get the math from the school and just figuring it out in my head. And also the fact that I really enjoy doing it, and that makes me want to do it more. That's why I've become so good at it, because I do it a lot. In this school, we do play a lot, but we learn by playing. For example, the activities that we do in all the classes, we learn things from them, and they're also really fun. So it keeps us engaged while also letting us learn new things. And that's one of the key parts that I really like about the school.
Yeah, for me, based on what I see from what he has been able to do, and how much he enjoyed the class. And I had some chance to be here sometimes to observe and discuss with teachers, and management. And I would like to have a smaller number of people in the class. I would like to give them this play-based learning experience, especially when they're young. The childhood experience that they could get could could help them to become someone that they're supposed to be. Some potential could be unleashed by just doing all this. I believe that learning by doing and by playing is the best way for the individual to learn and to absorb all those knowledge or skill or whatever that they supposed to learn in themselves and put it to application within themselves, and then that's a way that they could discover both what they are good at and what they love to do. And I think that's the best thing that you could do for a child in order to go to the future for their own destination.
I understand those fears, both about the school size and the play-based learning. I understand them in an academic sense, because, but what I've seen, as my wife was saying, what I've actually observed is, academically, the small class sizes are an advantage, and I think that's not too controversial to say. It allows a lot of customization and individuality in the instruction, which is helpful. The play-based learning, I think, is part of that also, because if you have a huge class size, I'm not sure you could pull off the play-based learning approach, right? Because it requires a lot of skill, and it requires a lot of thought, it requires a lot of planning to figure out what are the ways in which you can meet both the academic and learning requirement and also the requirement to have fun. And that answer may be different for different kids as well. So to manage that for a class of 40 or 50 kids, I get it, that would be hard. But that's not the situation we have. The teachers here are skilled, and the class sizes are small, and so they can do it. And there are periodic external benchmarks that the school does academically to make sure, to reassure us that everything is on track. So I think they're sensitive to that. And from a social point of view, I understand people's concerns about small class sizes, but we've found that there's also an advantage in that respect, because being in a small class, I think, forces children to learn how to adapt to their environment and to the people around them in a way that maybe you don't have to in a larger class. Because in a larger class, you can simply escape. You can go find a clique that thinks and behaves the same way that you do. And so you're not, right? You're not forced to learn, how do I work day to day with these 5 other kids, none of whom do things the same way that I do, right? And that's a really valuable social skill in its own. And so while a child may find it easier in some sense to be part of a large class, that may be not a healthy thing in every sense, right? It may be healthy to be forced to stay in a small class and learn how to interact in that way, right? Yeah, I think this is something my wife knows I feel very passionately about this school, and I referred to that earlier, that when I was in school, I remember this is, I think, what they were trying to accomplish. And there was a lot of, I guess you could say, academic focus on developing your interests as an individual, etc. But what was missing was the sense of community and the positivity. Because that's really important also for a child to be able to develop their own interests. They have to be able to explore, and they have to feel comfortable exploring. And that means they have to feel comfortable failing sometimes. And so when I see school events, and I see kids at talent shows and things like that, it's every time I see one of those, it reinforces my love for this school, because I see not a whiff of negativity in the room from anyone, for the teachers, from the other students, and that's something that I don't recognize from my own childhood.
So he can speak, he forgot already, but he could speak Thai way better than English until COVID time, that because of the situation forced us to have to speak all English in the house. And then he forgot that he could speak Thai. And I tried to help him to come back in Thai, but because of the environment in the house, it's impossible for him to choose Thai over English, right? Because we have to speak English at the time. And I'm so concerned about it. Then we came back here, and I'm surprised in just 2 weeks or a month, not more than a month, he come back home, Sawadee krap, sing Loi Katong, and he's so proud of being Thai. It's from here, not from me. Somehow, I don't know how, it's the magic, that I have to go thanks teacher, that how did you make them love to learn it? How do you make them recognize about his Thai culture, and how how important this is for them, and I think they just enjoy learning, and he come back and he just keep working on his Thai, and now he could teach his dad, and this school is, for us, it's not just his school, it's our family school.